Good afternoon to all the Colonia Country Club members. This is Casey O'Reilly, the Golf Pro Colonia Country Club. Today is Thursday, April 14th. We're on the 18th tee here at Colonia, 380-yard par 4. And today we're going to talk about the driver and give you a few fundamentals, a few tips to start the season off and try to get the contact with your driver in the center of the club and high on the face. Because with the modern day drivers, the sweet spot is in the center obviously, but it's really on top of the center. So what I want to show you is the first thing is to be able to hit the ball in the sweet spot, you want to tee the ball properly. So take the golf ball and whatever the logo is, whether it's Titleist, Pinnacle, put it on the tee at such a height where when you put the club behind the ball that logo is lined up with the top half of the club. That's the proper tee height to launch the ball with the correct spin, with the correct trajectory. Now, to achieve that, some fundamentals that you have to do with the driver. You know, I see on the driving range, I see some players trying to hit their driver like their irons, where the ball is kind of middle and the shoulders are level and come in too steep. You get the pop-ups, you get the cuts, no distance. And then the other player gets the ball way too far forward and hits it too much on the up, and you hit it on the bottom of the club and the ball really goes no distance with the modern day driver because there's nothing on the bottom of the driver there, all the weight's up here. Alright, so number one, correct ball position. When you put the club down, it's got to be just inside your left heel. So right there, you know, in other words, if I put the club there, we want to get it there. So if I get it here, it's too much like an iron, that's going to hit down on it too much. And if I get my left foot on the shaft, it's too far forward and you're going to hit it thin. So after you establish the ball position, both toes should be flared out so we can let the hips rotate on the backswing, right? And then on the through swing. Very important. Now, my driver fundamental for all of you, and this is the most important part of the video, is the takeaway and what I call the load. All right, so it's very important that when you take the club back, that you feel some weight go into this leg. You can see the left knee also moves behind the ball. It's not a sway. In other words, this would be a sway, where the right leg is really moved too much. So when you take the club back, we want the right tempo of the arms swinging straight back and feeling that weight. It's already there. And then from here, now we're just going to lift it. So you're creating what we call a load, a pivot or turn, whatever you want to call it. I call it a load. You got to create power in your backswing. What I see a lot of people do is take the club back and don't load anything and the weight stays here. What happens there is now the weight falls back and you hit it going this way. So my tip today is on your setup, we're going to position the ball right off your left foot. We're going to have the toes flared and just work on the right. There it is. So feel it. You know, you could do this in your house on the driving range. Don't start hitting balls until you feel like you've got your weight into the right leg. You know, do it 3 times. And just feel, okay, there it is. It's not outside, and it's certainly not on the left, right? So what I try to do when I hit a ball on the course is I'll take my practice swings and I'll feel 1, 2, feeling my weight go to my right and back to my left. So now I'm going to hit one for you and demonstrate the basic fundamentals of how I hit a driver. So I'm going to point the club right down the middle of the fairway, like that. Ball position off the left heel, toes out. So there's my setup. The big tip here also is I think about my nose, okay? I want my nose over my zipper, my belt buckle. So my head is where? Behind the ball. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be over my right leg. So my nose is right over my belt buckle. Now I'm going to let the weight go to my right leg and back to my left. Pretty good. So obviously that's also should have put a piece of face tape on the club, but I did hit it right up in the upper half, the meat of the club. So when you start hitting your drivers early in the spring, get your ball position off your left heel, flare both feet out so you can turn, or you can load, whatever you want to call it, right? And then once you start taking that club out, make sure you feel that weight crank into your right leg. Don't leave it on your left. That's the big tip today. I don't want to see a reverse pivot. Let your body weight move to your right leg and then back to the left. Just a couple fundamentals today to start the season off. I'd like to welcome everybody back to the club. If you have any questions, call the golf shop, send us an email. We'll fix you up with your game. Looking forward to a great year. Thank you.